Hello and welcome to Quarter Academy. Oh, wait, I can have glasses too. Hold on. Okay. First, I'd like to give a shout out to Two Broke Geeks. They're the ones who came up with the concept of the show. Infinite credit goes to them for this great idea. So basically, what you do is you go to your local comic book store and you pick out 4 to 8 comics. And then you review them and you give them nominations. And the nominations are... There's a valedictorian, which is like the best comic you found. There's a freshman award, which is the worst comic you found. And there's a super senior award, which I'm quite familiar with, which is the weirdest comic. And finally there is Edward Brannigan award, which is basically the best spread or the best panel that you found in these comics. So this Thursday I went to the New York Comic Con, and that's where I got the idea for this episode. I saw a bin of comics, so it was 5 for $1. 5 comics, 5 full comics, like good comics like Marvel, DC, whatever you like, for $1. So I was like, I can't pass up this opportunity. For those who don't know, I was cosplaying as Alan Wake from American Nightmare. Okay, here are the comics that I found. This one is just called Extreme. It was shiny, so I picked it up. You see how it's so... made a nice cover. So I picked it up. Then Spider-Man. Spectacular Spider-Man, issue 210. Issue 1 of Dark Dominion. I don't know if you could see the coloring of this book. It's really, really good. So that's why I picked up this one. Kabuki. Issue 1. And finally, Infestation. I'm not sure what issue this is. Oh, it's issue 1. Okay. Okay, I'll start with the worst comic that I found. It's this one. So it looks really good from the outside, but it's actually not a comic book. You open it and it's... I don't know how to describe it. It's a collection of people that work for this company, and in hindsight this big Tor 93 gave it away. So let's try to find the coolest looking guy in this comic book, which is this guy. You see him? And also there's a, you could send away issue 0. So this is not issue 0. This is like issue -1. And I don't get that. I don't know why I paid money for this. Look at this hair. Look at these guys. It's amazing. This comic book is, I can't even call it a comic book, so this is definitely deserves the Freshman Award. And the best part about this comic book is their bodyguard, the bodyguard for the tour, he dressed up as Chapel. He dressed up as Chapel. See, he's like up here. He put like the mask on. So that's pretty cool. Okay, but it doesn't justify buying this comic book. The best comic I found is Spider-Man, and not because I like Spider-Man. I do like Spider-Man, but this comic book is it does have something unique where he disarms a nuclear bomb. He catches it like mid-flight, so that's pretty cool. But the reason I gave it this award is, the reason I gave it the valedictorian award is because it has Stan Lee Presents Black Cat, which is hilarious. It's like a realistic fight, a breakup. It's just a story about a breakup. There's no superhero stuff happening. And the premise is that Flash Thompson, he breaks up with her, and so she catches him and she accuses him of like, why did you break up with me? I think they were gonna get married, and just like real life, his explanation makes no sense. First of all, he goes on to say, oh, I only dated you because you're a black cat. And then he like passes out, she catches him, and when he comes back, he basically says, oh, I'm just a regular guy. See him crying over here. I'm just a regular guy. I can't, you're gonna leave me, you're gonna get bored of me. And so I found it really funny that they have this little mini story, and so she kisses him goodbye and then she leaves. So I definitely check out this issue if you wanna get slice of life. Now for the weirdest comic that I found, or super senior, I picked this one because it just reminded me of like Sandman. If you like Sandman, this kind of art and just the story itself was very, very cool. It's about this guy in New York. He's like kind of a gumshoe detective, and he could travel between different dimensions. Like there's a dimension where your fears and your like basically evil thoughts create these demons that plague you, and he could go into their universe and kind of battle them, and it's a lot more complicated than that. But check out this guy in McDonald's on 42nd Street over here. See you sitting there all crazy, and then eventually he goes nuts, and so the guy turns into his alter ego, and he helps him fight it off. It's definitely a weird comic. I mean, just this alone right here would nominate for the Super Senior Award. See? It's quite strange, but good story, good writing, and I would highly recommend checking it out. I'm definitely gonna read this comic, so that was a good find. Now this comic was very misleading, so I didn't give it any award. There's like a Ninja Turtle here and Transformers, and there's none of this in this comic book. It's just a weird story about Apocalypse. Or so for the best panel, or Edward Brannigan Award, I'm gonna give it to Kabuki. And the reason I gave it to Kabuki is because it's black and white, and it's heavily inspired by like Japanese tattoo art, and I just think you could find really cool like ideas for tattoos in this comic book. So the panel that I gave, the best panel that I found would be this one. So these are the comics I found. I hope you guys like them, and I'm gonna go to Comic-Con Saturday dressed as probably Marco from Saga, and I hope to find more cool comics to review for you. And this is my first vlog, and hopefully my second one will be better. Alright, take care. Yeah. Of course, when you cut stuff it becomes